You're listening to WZ Tales. This story is about, if you can't afford to prove you're still worth my time, then I need to rethink whether this marriage is worth keeping. As you listen, ask yourself where you would have drawn the line. My wife said, "If you can't afford me, I'll leave." I replied, "Then I'll show its true worth." Then I followed the money, wrapped a USB drive as her gift, exposed her and her boss at the Christmas party, and I just watched as everyone saw what our marriage was really built on that night. I am Daniel, 34 years old. I work as an operations coordinator at a mid-sized logistics company. I handle vendor contracts, coordinate shipments, and keep the building running. It is not flashy, but it is steady and I am good at it. My wife, Ellis, is 32 and works in the same company as a senior accounting supervisor in finance. We have been married 5 years. Until about 8 months ago, things felt solid. We met at a company mixer 7 years ago. She was sharp and funny and did not take herself too seriously. At home, we split things pretty evenly. She would cook, I would do dishes. I took care of the yard. She organized the finances. It felt like a partnership. Then she got promoted. I was proud of her. That senior supervisor position meant more responsibility, better pay, and a lot more authority over budgets. I took her out to celebrate. She seemed genuinely happy. The first week after the promotion felt normal. The second week did not. In the lunchroom, she corrected me in front of her team. "Actually, Daniel, it is fiscal quarter, not business quarter," she said. I laughed it off. I told myself she was just trying to look sharp in front of her team. This was the first small shift I brushed off instead of naming. Then came the comments at home. "I do not have time to focus on mundane household tasks anymore," she said one night when I asked if she could help with laundry. It came out like laundry was beneath her now. My buddy Jake noticed it at a barbecue we hosted. I asked Ellis if she could help bring out the side dishes. "I think you can handle basic party logistics, Daniel," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "It is literally your job description." Jake pulled me aside later. "Dude, what is going on with Ellis?" he asked. "Just stress from the new position," I said. I believed that at the time. I wanted to believe it. The real shift came at a company networking event about a month ago. I was talking with a few people about a shipping delay and how we were working around it. Ellis walked over, put her hand on my shoulder, and smiled at them. "Gentlemen, sorry for my husband boring you with warehouse talk," she said. "I am sure you have more important things to discuss than shipping delays." She literally apologized for me being in the conversation. Later at home, I asked her what that was about. "Daniel, you need to understand I am in leadership now," she said with a sigh. "The way you present yourself reflects on me. You were talking about shipments and vendor contracts like that is something to be proud of. You need to learn how to network at a higher level." My wife of 5 years was telling me my job was not impressive enough for her image. "I am trying to build something here," she added. "I need you to either keep up or stay out of the way." I slept on the couch that night. Over the next 3 weeks, she started staying late at work, coming home after 10. When I asked if everything was okay, she said, "Some of us have careers that demand our attention, Daniel." After a few of those comments, I stopped asking. Then came last Friday. The company Christmas party was coming up in 2 weeks. It is always a big deal. Hotel ballroom, open bar, full executive crowd. That morning, Ellis cornered me in the kitchen. "We need to talk about the Christmas party," she said. "I was planning to wear my navy suit," I said. She laughed. "I am talking about how you are going to show up," she said. "This is my first major event since the promotion. People will be watching. They will see who I chose to marry. They will make judgments about my decision-making." "So you want me to get a better suit?" I asked. "I want you to prove you understand what I am worth now," she said. She pulled out her phone and showed me a jewelry site. A bookmarked diamond necklace. $18,000. $18,000, Ellis, I said. That is what someone at my level should be wearing," she cut in. My stomach dropped. "You want me to buy you an $18,000 necklace for a Christmas party?" I asked. "I want you to show me you are still invested in this marriage," she said. I want to walk into that party and not feel like I am dragging dead weight." She grabbed her bag. "Think about it," she said. "Because honestly, I am starting to wonder if you are the kind of partner someone in my position should have. If you cannot afford to prove you are still worth my time, then I need to rethink whether this marriage is worth keeping." She left. I stood there for 20 minutes trying to process what she had just said. That was the ultimatum. $18,000 or she would decide if the marriage was worth it. I called in sick. Spent the day on the couch replaying the last 8 months, every correction, every time she cut me down in front of other people, every comment about her level. I realized something. This was never about the necklace. It was about power. It was about testing how far she could push me and how much I would swallow to keep her happy. When love is measured in price tags, the relationship is already sitting on a different scale. I could have taken out a loan, maxed out credit cards, and somehow scraped together $18,000. Or I could refuse and watch the marriage implode. Or I could do something else. When she got home around 11 that night, I was waiting in the living room. "Did you think about what I said?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "I will have your Christmas gift ready for the party." She smiled, really smiled for the first time in months. "Good," she said. "Make sure it is properly wrapped. I want people to notice." "Oh, they will notice," I said. She went upstairs. I stayed up, because here is what Ellis did not know. I was not panicking about the money. I was replaying other things that had bothered me for months. I work in operations. I see a lot of paperwork. About 3 months earlier, I had started noticing some odd changes in our vendor invoices. We had used the same HVAC contractor for 4 years. Reliable and reasonable. Then all at once, we switched to a new company I had never heard of. No one asked me about it, even though I am the one who usually coordinates those contracts. The invoices had Ellis's approval signature on them, so I assumed finance had made some change I just had not been looped in on. Then it happened again with the cleaning service, and the office supply vendor, and the IT equipment supplier. New companies. Invoices that looked off, round numbers. Vague line items like miscellaneous facility improvements for $8,000 and emergency maintenance for $12,000. Every single one was approved by Ellis, a lot of them co-signed by Eric Miller, the finance director. Eric, the guy she now seemed to mention every other sentence. Eric thinks we should upgrade the conference rooms. Eric suggested I join the executive strategy meetings. Eric and I are working on a new budget framework. That night, after her demand about the necklace, those invoices came back to mind and would not leave. Over the next few days, I started digging through my files at home. Expense reports, vendor contracts, the paperwork I keep as part of my job. I compared older invoices with the new ones. The pattern was bad. Some of the new vendors had addresses that did not exist. One used a P.O. box. Another was registered to the same address as a company dissolved 2 years ago. Every invoice approved by Ellis. Many co-signed by Eric. I used my normal access at work to pull the vendor master list and cross-reference it with recent payments. At night, I stayed up until 2 in the morning going through spreadsheets while Ellis slept. She thought I was stressed about the necklace. I let her think that. The new HVAC company had been paid $47,000 over 3 months for emergency repairs and system upgrades. I managed the facility. There were no emergencies. The system is fine. The new office supply vendor had billed $23,000 for executive office furniture and equipment. We did not get new furniture. An IT supplier had billed $61,000 for network infrastructure improvements. Our IT guy, Tommy, had never mentioned any upgrades. When I casually asked him about any big projects, he looked confused. "Nothing like that," he said. "I would know." Someone was billing the company for things that never happened. Ellis was approving all of it, and Eric was in the mix. At this point, it stopped being about my pride and started being about basic ethics and safety. Then I remembered a conversation I had overheard 3 weeks earlier in the finance break room. "The Christmas party is perfect timing," Eric had said. "After that we are set," Ellis replied. Just need to get through this quarter, then we can finally move forward. Back then, I assumed they were talking about year-end reports. Now it sounded like they were talking about money. A few days before the party, I saw a preview of a text pop up on Ellis's phone while it was on the counter and she was in the shower. "Cannot wait to finally be done with all this," from Eric. I did not open the message. I did not need to. Between the invoices, the approvals, and that text, the picture was clear enough. During my lunch breaks, I collected everything I could within my normal access. Vendor invoices, payment records, approval signatures, a simple timeline of when each fake vendor appeared and how much money had gone out. By the end, I had around $170,000 in questionable payments documented. Later, I would learn the total was even higher. I put the files on a USB drive and printed a short summary report. Then, I bought the most expensive-looking gift box I could find. Because Ellis had said she wanted a Christmas gift that showed everyone what our marriage was really worth. So I wrapped it. The Christmas party arrived. The venue was a hotel ballroom, open bar, catered dinner. The CEO, CFO, and department heads were there, the kind of place where people practice their smiles in the bathroom mirror. Ellis was in a red dress that probably cost more than my car payment. Hair done, makeup perfect. She had the air of someone walking into a room she believed she owned. Eric was already at the bar when we arrived. Ellis grabbed my arm as we walked in. It did not feel like affection. It felt like handling. "Remember," she whispered, "you are here to support me. Smile, be charming. Do not embarrass me with your work stories." We made the rounds. She introduced me to people. "This is my husband, Daniel," she would say. "He handles facilities coordination. Daniel keeps the lights on, quite literally." People would chuckle politely. Each introduction made me feel a little smaller. This is where a lot of partners start to shrink themselves just to keep the peace. He made a different choice. About an hour in, Ellis pulled me aside. "So," she said, eyes bright, "where is it?" "Where is what?" I asked. "Daniel, do not play games, my gift." I took the wrapped box out of my jacket pocket. It was small and elegant, exactly the size everyone expects for expensive jewelry. Her eyes went wide. "You actually did it," she said. For a second, I saw real relief. "You asked for something that would show everyone what our marriage is worth," I said. "This is perfect timing," she said. "Eric is about to make a toast. Everyone will be watching." She kissed my cheek, then walked toward the center of the room where Eric was tapping a microphone. My heart was pounding, but my mind felt very clear. Eric's toast was standard corporate talk, thanking everyone for their hard work, praising the finance team for exceptional fiscal management. People laughed, glasses clinked, then Ellis raised her hand. "Sorry to interrupt," she said. "But I want to take a moment to appreciate my wonderful husband, Daniel." She gestured toward me. "He surprised me with a Christmas gift tonight, and I am so touched. I want to open it now, if that is okay." People clapped. Some said awe under their breath. Eric smiled. The CFO nodded. This was the show she had wanted. Ellis started unwrapping the box. I watched her face. She lifted the lid, looked inside, and froze. The color drained from her face. She picked up the USB drive. Under it was the printed report with a title on top. "Analysis of fraudulent vendor payments, October to December." "What is this?" she said. Her voice was low, but the microphone in her hand carried the words. Eric heard it. So did the front of the room. I walked over and gently took the microphone from her. "You asked me to prove I was still worth your time," I said, keeping my voice calm. "You asked for a gift that would show everyone exactly what our marriage is worth." "Daniel, do not," Ellis said, shaking her head. "So here is your gift," I said. That USB drive contains documentation of fake vendor invoices, companies that do not exist, services that were never provided, payments that did not go to real business expenses, all approved by Ellis Brooks and co-signed by Eric Miller. Approximately $170,000 stolen from this company over 6 months. The room went silent. "Daniel, you are insane," Ellis said. Her voice cracked. "There are copies," I said. They have already been sent to HR, to the CFO, and to legal, time delayed to arrive right now while we are all here. I looked at Eric. His face had gone gray. I figured if you wanted a public show about what our marriage is worth, I should probably include the person you have been building your next life with, I said. Eric turned toward the doorway like he might slip out. Two people from legal stepped in front of the exit. The CFO, Richard Chang, walked over and took the USB drive from Ellis's hand. "Everyone, please enjoy your dinner," he said into the microphone. His voice was polite, but his eyes were not. "Ellis, Eric, I need you both to come with me now." Ellis turned toward me like she wanted to say something, but nothing came out. Eric was already being led out of the ballroom. Richard took Ellis by the elbow and guided her toward a side room. The whispers started as soon as the doors closed behind them. I handed the microphone back and walked out. No speech, no scene, I just left. I drove to Jake's place. I did not want to go home, not knowing when Ellis would show up or what she would say. Jake opened the door. "What happened?" he asked. "Everything," I said. I told him the whole story. He shook his head. "You just nuked your own life, man," he said. "Maybe," I said. My phone buzzed nonstop for the next 3 hours. Dozens of calls from Ellis. Unknown numbers, voicemails I did not listen to. One text I did read was from Richard. "Daniel, thank you for bringing this to our attention. We will need to speak with you Monday morning, but you are not in trouble. We appreciate your integrity. Take the rest of the weekend." So at least I was not fired. And here is the strange part. After everything that happened, I felt like I could breathe for the first time in months. Sometimes the moment you think your life is collapsing is actually the moment the weight comes off. 3 weeks later, this is what the fallout looks like. On Monday after the party, I met with HR, legal, and Richard. They asked me to walk them through everything, how I noticed the invoices, when I started connecting dots, why I chose to reveal it at the party instead of going quietly to HR. I told the truth. I explained the behavior changes, the necklace demand, and how the pattern in the invoices started bothering me. I explained that I only used access I already had as part of my job, no hacking, no breaking into systems. Richard said that if I had gone to HR first, there was a chance Ellis and Eric could have been tipped off and destroyed evidence. The public reveal, while not normal, meant they could not claim the documents were fake or altered. By Wednesday, their investigation had traced payments to a shell company Eric had set up. It turned out the fraud had started about a year earlier, roughly a month before Ellis's promotion. The total stolen was around $240,000, not just the $170,000 I had identified. Ellis and Eric were both fired and escorted out. The company decided to press criminal charges. Court is set for February. Ellis called me over and over that first week. Voicemails swung from angry to sobbing to threatening. I did not answer. Instead, I called a lawyer and filed for divorce. She tried to argue for alimony, saying I had destroyed her career. My lawyer submitted the fraud report and the criminal charges. That argument died quickly. We are splitting what we have down the middle. The house is being listed in January. I am staying with Jake until it sells. At work, things are strange in a different way. People I barely know stop me in the hall to say they respect what I did. Tommy from IT took me out to lunch. Even the CEO pulled me aside and said the company values people who do the right thing when it is hard. They offered me a promotion to compliance coordinator. Higher pay, more responsibility, overseeing vendor relationships and contract integrity across departments. I accepted. I start in January. Jake thinks I am crazy for staying with the same company, but I like my work. I like most of the people there. I do not see why I should be the one to leave. Through office gossip, I heard that Ellis moved back in with her parents. Her LinkedIn is gone. Someone said Eric is trying to work out a plea deal. I do not know if that is true. I do not really care. HR's investigation also confirmed what everyone suspected. Ellis and Eric were not just business partners. They had been involved for about 7 months. Their messages showed they were planning to leave the company once they took enough money, then start fresh somewhere else with the stolen funds. So my wife was cheating on me and stealing from our employer while planning to walk away from both with her affair partner. And she wanted me to buy her an $18,000 necklace to prove I was worth her time first. Life has a dark sense of humor sometimes. I am doing okay. Some days are harder. Sometimes I wake up and forget for a moment, reach toward the other side of the bed, then remember. Those mornings hurt. Most days, though, I feel lighter. I feel like I finally put down something heavy I had been carrying without noticing. My parents are still processing. My mom keeps trying to set me up with people. I keep telling her I need time. Right now I am focusing on my new job, on getting through the divorce, and on figuring out who I am without someone telling me I am not enough. Someone asked me recently what I would say to Ellis if I could say one thing to her now. She texted me last week, just one line. "You did not have to destroy me like this." I stared at it for a while. I thought about writing back something sharp, like, "You destroyed yourself." But I did not reply. Because the truth is, I do not owe her anything anymore. Not my anger, not my explanations, not my time. She wanted to know what our marriage was worth. I showed her. Now we both get to live with the answer and move on. Lesson 1: when a partner starts using your job or income as a measure of your worth, pay attention. Respect and status are not the same thing. Lesson 2: if someone demands a huge financial gesture to prove your value, it is not a test of love. It is a test of control. Lesson 3: sudden changes in behavior often have a reason. You may not want the answer, but ignoring the pattern does not protect you from it. Lesson 4: doing the right thing can blow up your life in the short term, but it also removes the people and systems that were quietly draining you. Lesson 5: you do not owe closure to the person who lied to you and built their future on your silence. Sometimes the healthiest answer is no answer at all. What do you think about how Daniel handled the Christmas party? Would you have gone to HR quietly or done the same thing he did? Have you ever been with someone who treated your job or income like a reflection of their status instead of who you are? Share what you learned from that and what you would do differently now.